Hi, I'm a Merlin. I feel appreciated here. Yes, Merlin is back.
Yep,
Hi, I'm back.
yep. And this is the current events for October 7th, 2019. And if you're watching this on YouTube and BitChute, you're a day late. Follow the Twitch link in the description and look at the show times in the description as well to catch us live and participate in the chat. Now that I got out of the way. Breaking news right before we started the show. Hong Kong journalist hit by petrol bomb recovering in hospital.
Ouch.
Yes. A journalist working with Hong Kong's public broadcaster was recovering in hospital on Monday after he was hit by a petrol bomb during weekend protests in the city. Flames briefly flared around the man's head and neck as his helmet and plastic rain poncho caught fire during the incident on Sunday, Reuters picture showed. I'm not showing that picture again. The
Why
journalist,
not?
it's a little graphic.
Okay.
The journalist was burned on a small part of his face and was in hospital. A spokeswoman for Radio Television Hong Kong, RTHK, the territory's public broadcaster, said. Now he is fine, she said, declining to give the reporter's name but confirming that he was from Hong Kong. People nearby ran to help the man who was hit by the device as he ran down a street where protests were happening, as seen in footage obtained by Reuters. Let's
Um,
see. The media worker who was wearing a helmet marked press and high visibility yellow vest had been involved in a live broadcast at the time, according to the spokeswoman. The incident occurred during the latest unrest in Hong Kong, with police firing tear gas and baton charging crowds, while some demonstrators threw bricks and petrol bombs at police. Throw bricks and bombs, get your ass shot.
well, we are talking about the people rising up trying to defend themselves.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and I get they want to defend themselves and they want to, keep their freedoms free, and they want to, fight for their sovereignty. But there's a difference between protesting and rioting.
Well, we could cover the story and then the news brief. So, yeah.
And what is the first story you have there with us? Would you mind reading it there, Merlin?
Well, the first story we have today is Trump endorses Turkish military operations in Syria, shifting U.S. policy. President Trump on Sunday endorsed Turkish military operations into northern Syria. This means about 150 American troops are being pulled out of the region, leaving the Kurds, America's best ally in the region, to defend for themselves. Turkey views the Kurds as terrorists, and I am sure would be happy to push them back out of Syria. As of Monday, witnesses in Syria reports that U.S. troops were indeed pulling out of the area. This move by Trump has caused a backlash from officials in the Pentagon and State Department, who believe that American troops need to stay in the region to keep fighting ISIS and the Caliphate. However, Trump did declare total victory over ISIS in his message on Sunday. Officials report that there has been a growing resurgence of ISIS operations in the area. President Trump on Sunday talked to Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan before he made his decision to pull out American troops. The losers here, the Kurds, who have been backstabbed several times by the United States, would be pushed back to the border if Turkey had its way. This would cause a full fallout of the Kurds to look for allies elsewhere or be independent in their fight, never to trust America again. President Erdogan for years wanted a buffer zone along the Syrian border. It is reported that the border he wants is to push would be 20 miles deep, 300 miles wide.
Wow.
This is where he wants to put Syrian refugees in the area. Erdogan in the past has threatened to send refugees to Europe if he didn't get what he wanted.
And there's breaking news on that as well. Lots of shit's happening. Trump issues warning to Turkey after green light for incursion. Donald Trump appeared to backpedal from a green light for Turkey to attack U.S. allied Kurdish forces in northern Syria, warning Ankara in a tweet that he would totally destroy and obliterate, quote unquote, the country's economy if it takes unspecified, quote unquote, off-limits actions. The president has drawn fierce criticism from congressional allies for a White House statement late Sunday that said the U.S. wouldn't stand in the way of a Turkish incursion into Syria. The announcement, which followed a call with Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, yeah, both of us completely butchered that, marked an abrupt change in U.S. posture. Senator Lindsey Graham, a South Carolina Republican who is normally a close Trump ally, said he would introduce bipartisan legislation to sanction Turkey if it invades Syria and suspend it from NATO if it attacks Kurdish forces. So yeah.
Lindsey Graham was part of John McCain's little group of warmongers. Lindsey Graham and his type, there's several in the Republican Senate that always will push for things that is not in our best interest.
Yeah. Okay, and we got.
But Trump, on the other hand, I don't understand Trump. He does double speak and double action.
He does. He
And
tends to change his mind a lot, and that's freaking confusing.
Yeah, I mean, if troops were already pulling out Monday, and now he's saying that maybe we shouldn't, allow this. He needs to leave the foreign policy to professionals because it's making a bigger disaster in the Middle East, almost worse as Obama did with his Arab Spring, and unsettling all the countries in the Middle East back in 2012 or 11.
Yeah, and Neil says Trump plays both sides and tests the wind a lot.
He does, but that's not very presidential when you think about it. You need a president that looks confident. He makes a decision. He sticks to it, gives the reasons why, and tries to make the American people to understand.
Yeah.
Trump doesn't do that. And that kind of bothers me that he's not really a good statesman, because you have to present yourself as you're representing America, and you got to present yourself as such. And Trump is making us, I hate to say it, into a laughingstock in some ways. So we'll see what happens down the road.
Yep. All right, next story. Hong Kong defies face mask ban as thousands take to the streets. Hong Kong recovers Monday after another day of violent protests. People of all shapes and sizes, ages and race were all out on Sunday in protest of the new face mask ban on Friday. It was a heavy rain as they wore blue surgical masks, black masks, Guy Fawkes masks, and even paper bags. I don't think those masks made it for a long time in the rain. By mid-afternoon, the police were out in force, firing tear gas among the crowd. In turn, the protesters would throw them back at police as the rain was cutting down on the clouds of smoke. The new ban that went into effect this weekend has a penalty if arrested of $3,000 or £2,432 and up to 1 year in jail. I feel angry at the government. We just use masks to protect ourselves. It's for protection. We don't have any other method to protect ourselves, one young woman protester told CBS News. If we don't go out to fight for freedom, and if people don't have freedom anymore, then Hong Kong is not Hong Kong. Every Hong Konger is afraid, said another young woman. Everyone is very confused and very nervous, but if we don't fight for freedom now, then maybe next time you cannot see me. The protests have been going on for the past 17 weeks when the government passed an extradition law with China. I praise these protesters standing up for their freedom. As Americans, we should support in this endeavor and pray that they will win in the end. If not, as it was said, you may never see these people again.
That was an opinion by Merlin. Yeah. That's me. I'm a Merlin.
I mean,
so yeah,
these people are fighting to be able to say whatever they want, be able to protest and things. They don't want the extradition law. That just basically is a slap in their face.
Well, basically that's a death sentence, because once they go to China, that's it. They're never going to be seen again.
Yep, that is true. That is true. And now for our last story.
In other news, the Supreme Court's going to have a blockbuster term coming up. Now, I have to put a little thing in here saying that the news today was kind of hard to pick out for one reason. News was all over the Trump impeachment. And when something like that happens, other stories will not be, reported. So I went through an hour sorting through Trump impeachment BS, which sounded more like kids at a playground, yelling at each other. So, but I did find this, and I trimmed the fat and just put it down to the cases that's coming up. This Tuesday, a case of LGBTQ XYZ ×2 employment discrimination, which puts the 1964 Civil Rights Act center stage. The act states that any sexual discrimination is not allowed. The question here is, does this cover gays and transsexuals? This case could affect 28 states who have no protection for this kind of thing, so they have to rely on the Civil Rights Act. That's a good question, because I don't know. Transsexuals, I would say no, because sorry, biology still rules until they become a female or a male. Just saying, that's my opinion only.
Well, see, my
Uh,
whole thing is the way you put it. You put transsexuals. So to me, they should be protected even during their transition. However, transgender people who are demi something one day and demi something else the next, those people should just be regarded as regular people. Call me a
I
transphobe if you
agree.
will.
Well, in name only.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Gays and transsexuals. I mean, the Civil Rights Act is supposed to protect anyone
Mhm.
from discrimination of sexual nature. I guess that would cover, for me, it would cover gays and transsexuals,
Mhm.
according to the act.
But they want it
So
to
I would
cover the
say,
transgenders too. I think is what they're trying to do.
but that's where the problem is going to come: is the transgenders. You cannot justify them because you're a male playing dress up, or you're a female playing tomboy. There is no, there is no sexual discrimination there.
Hey, I don't play
So
tomboy. I am a tomboy. Goddammit.
there you go. In November, the case of deferred action for childhood arrivals, DACA, we all remember this. This is basically a showdown between Trump and Congress, 2 years and counting. The fate of 700,000 illegal aliens, yes, I'm going to call them illegal aliens, are affected. These are children who grew up in the country and looking for a way to stay.
Beautiful dreamer, beautiful dream. Oh, sorry.
There you go. Yeah. This case, if they did not file for citizenship, then too bad. If they're in the process of filing for citizenship or in the process of, they stay.
Mhm.
It's that simple.
Yep.
You have plenty of time to get your citizenship. I know it costs a lot of money, and I believe the money has to drop, the price has to drop for becoming a citizen, and the process needs to be streamlined. But right now, it's the best thing we got until Congress gets off their ass, but they rather impeach.
Yeah.
So if they didn't apply for citizenship, I say they're out. That's it. Anyway, what do you think, Maddie?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
I mean, if they're illegal and they've had an X amount of years to file for citizenship under DACA and they haven't done it, when DACA runs out, or if the Supreme Court decides that DACA is in fact what we know to be illegal and against the Constitution, then all of those 700,000 illegal aliens need to go home. They need to be deported. They need to be sent back from where they came from.
And I will even do this. Any children under the age of 18 will be protected until they either get at age 18, they either get their citizenship or they're going to be forced out.
Mm-hmm.
It's that simple.
Well, I mean, to me, it's in terms of anchor babies, and yes, I will use that term because that's what they are. I don't care if it's not politically correct. They should be given in a special type of dual citizenship. In other words, if the person from San Salvador illegally comes here and has a baby here, then that baby should have residency here because it was born here, and citizenship both in San Salvador. However, that child should be, put with his parents and then sent back to San Salvador with the option of when that child turns 18, having a chance of being able to come back legally as a legal citizen since they were born here to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, I support that. I'm not against illegal aliens. I support those who want to be citizens.
Mm-hmm.
I don't support them coming over illegally and want benefits and everything else because they think they deserve it. And then we have actual cities in the United States that actually support these illegal aliens over their citizens.
Mm-hmm.
Something doesn't add up.
We're looking at you, California.
Yep. How did you know I was talking about them?
Always refer to California.
From there, we go to New York. December comes a case about gun rights. New York City passed an extreme restriction forbidding legal gun owners to cross city limits. However, both the city and state of New York wiped the regulation off the books. But however, also, this could affect a future case about making legal gun owners to be able to carry nationwide. So this case might be a slam dunk of being thrown out, but at the same time, it could open the door to this case here of making gun legalship to carry nationwide. So, the next case, early next year, comes a case over abortion. which could challenge the ruling of Roe versus Wade back in 1973. In Louisiana, the state wants to implement a law requiring providers to have admitting privileges in local hospitals. This could also affect Georgia, Ohio, Missouri, Kentucky, Arkansas, Mississippi, and Alabama. Um, Texas, and there was a court case 3 years ago in Texas. They tried to do that and was struck down
Yep.
by the Supreme Court.
No, I did a
Uh,
Twitter survey to ask you guys because I know I've been busy and I kind of that series went by the wayside. If you guys wanted me to continue breaking down all of these state abortion bills, and it was an overwhelming yes. So I will be doing that. And when I have the notes set up, because those I don't have any problems putting into a script. We'll get to that in the shill and chill section.
yeah, we got a couple of big projects coming up. So yeah, that will be, if you want, that will be done. We'll take care of it.
Mhm.
So next year they're gonna have a case over religion. In Montana, they're testing whether state funds can be used to help pay for tuition at religious schools. This is a tax credit of $150 for residents and businesses who donate to the program. It helps low-income families to get help sending their kids to private school. I should have written that better. But the Montana Supreme Court already struck this down, saying that it interferes with the state constitution.
Wouldn't it also
So
interfere with the separation of church and state too?
yeah, I guess it would. Dealing with private school, since most private schools are Catholic
Mhm.
or other religion, mainstream religion. Yeah, I think you're right. I think unfortunately it does interfere between religion and government. So that's something I don't. I mean, yes, I'm like yes and no, because let's face it, public schools today are a joke, and
Mhm.
right now, unfortunately, most private schools is the way to go. But of course, you have families who can't afford that. They just want something best for their children. Maybe if it was like independent of the state, then yes, I could support that definitely, hands down. But if it's involved with the state, then I think it's going to get struck down.
Yeah.
In another cases coming up next year, we have racial discrimination, political corruption, the Affordable Care Act, which involves Congress, who are withholding payments promised to insurance companies. Way to go, Congress. And then there is one more case. It's called the case over Blackbeard's Law. Yes, Blackbeard the pirate. In North Carolina, there's an ongoing conflict of copyright dispute between North Carolina and a video production company over a 3-year-old ship that belonged to the legendary pirate
You mean
Blackbeard.
300?
Yes, 300,
You said
right? Yeah.
You said 3-year-old.
Oh yeah, because dogs don't see zeros. So
I
yes, a 300-year-old ship. They want to basically. I didn't put this here because I was rushed for time, but they basically want to cover and videotape them salvaging the ship. And North Carolina is saying, no, you're not going to do that. So now it's going to find out which pirate is going to win out in the end.
Well, my whole thing is it's a sunken ship, obviously. It's over
Yes.
300 years old. So the original owner, Mr. Blackbeard, is long gone, unless he's like an elf and we never realized it, and he's living, casually, in hiding somewhere. Um, so to me, the use of said ship should be, I don't know, public domain.
Yeah. I mean, North Carolina did transfer the ship into their waters.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think the video company should be allowed to.
Yep.
But we got a lot of things we missed here in the comments. Where should I start? Let's see. I can't believe these. This is from Nilk. I can't believe these DACA recipients didn't try to become citizens in the grace they got. Agreed. They clearly thought they'd have the DACA status forever. Agreed. SMCJK. They just want to spit on the U.S. and shit on the Constitution and still get handouts. Yes, that's the way liberals usually do it.
This is the morning brew. Let's try that again. Hi! My mouth is not working today. Glad Ronan's not here. He'd be sorely disappointed. Alright.